What up, yo? I just want to talk about this never ending movie that keeps going every day, and it's a different movie every day. Today's movie, I was just outside. I was gonna, I wanted to record, but it was cold though. But as I was walking up the sidewalk, there were all these people that kept walking out in front of me, and they would like walk like out of an alley ahead of me, like way ahead of me on the sidewalk, and then walk the direction that I'm walking up the sidewalk, and then they would turn again like half a block down the street, you know? They could just walk out in front of me and then walk the same direction I'm walking and then turn again, and like both at synchronized times, you know? And that that kept happening like with different people as I walked up this sidewalk. It happened like 3 times. And then as I crossed the street, well, first, before I crossed the street, like there are these squirrels that ran out in front of me, and like they jumped off of a tree right as I got across the street ahead of me. So I was like, I just knew that they were gang stalker squirrels, which I always see. And I kept seeing birds syncing up too. Like a flock of birds would meet me, would fly over me when I get to an intersection, things like that. I kept seeing this on this walk today. I kept seeing a bunch of flocks of birds syncing up on me. And then, but there are these squirrels though that jumped off this tree right when I got across the street ahead of me. And then they're just like running out. They kept running out in front of me on the sidewalk, like they're just playing or whatever. And then the one squirrel jumps back up on the tree, and another one jumps up on a stump that's like over by the tree. And they're just sitting there, like the one squirrel's just sitting at the bottom of the tree, the other one's sitting on the stump. And then right as I walk by the tree, the squirrel runs up the tree, and then right as I walk by the stump, the other one runs off of it. Like they just sit there still, and then right as I walk by them, they run off. They're all like squirrels are always doing that. They'll just like let me walk up really, really close to them, but then right as they're directly next to me, they'll run off or run up a tree. So that happened with those squirrels, and then I think it was at the next block. There are these other squirrels that, like, well, as I crossed the street, I looked over to the right, and there's this cop car with his lights on, with his flashing lights on. No siren though, just the lights. And he drives by, like, at a block to the right of me. He drives by and, like, going the same direction that I'm going. Right when I get across the street. And then there's these squirrels up the sidewalk, and they just like run up this tree, and right when the one gets to the top of the tree, like it's like the tree is like chopped in half. So like right when he gets to the top of it where it's flat, he just like stands on top of it. And right when he gets to the top of it, the cop drives out in front of me, and like a bunch of white SUVs drive out in front of me too. Like up the street, he's like turned and drove in front of me with his lights still on. And then I was going to CVS. So I get there, and right as I'm going in the parking lot, there's this loud car driving by, and he's syncing up with a white SUV, just driving by on the street. Like as I'm going up to the door, and then I go in the door, and there's just this guy standing there, just like looking at wine, and I just knew he was gonna gang stalk me. But he's just standing there when I come in. But I go in the door and I turn into the aisle, and right as I turn into the aisle, there's this other loud car outside. Right as I turned into the aisle, you can just hear it through the door, like the door's closed, but it's just right at that moment, right when I turn into the aisle. And then when I come out of the aisle, there's this guy, there's this employee, he's like making a bunch of noise, like right in front of me as I come out of the aisle. And he's like doing a synced up thing when I came in the door too. And then I go up to the checkout, the self checkout, and someone comes in the door right as I do. And then there's all these people like leaving synchronized. And then, like, right as I'm checking, like, right as I'm putting the change in the machine, the guy that was looking at the wine walks up to the other checkout. He walks away at that moment, you know. And then as I'm like grabbing my bag and leaving, he's like moving over to the left toward me, but to scan his credit card, but like it just looked like it was a synced up thing. Like it's just so that he moves closer toward me at that moment that I'm leaving. Like they just they just do everything synced up, and it's just ridiculous. But then I saw a black squirrel on the way home. I don't know if that was gang stalker squirrel, but I don't think I've ever seen a black squirrel before. So that was interesting. Those other squirrels were gang stalker squirrels. And then just all the other typical gang stalkers, 1,000 of them. And they've been going crazy outside my apartment lately. Like, it just seems like there's more of them out here than usual. They're just everywhere. And like they'll just have a guy. They just had this guy this morning. He just rode around a building corner and then back, like on a bike. He just like came out and then went back all of a sudden. But he was syncing up with all the other gang stalkers. Or they'll just have someone like standing in a doorway and then they'll just like go in. Like you barely see it if you're not paying attention. It never ends, just a never ending story. It's just something new every day and all the same things every day. Tell the registered stalkers they get paid to work, not be talking. Well, they get paid to do that too, I guess. I get, or something. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know though. There was just a bunch of other gang stalkers that I saw, you know. But I just think it's crazy how I just see squirrels and birds all the time. And bugs, which, you know, it's winter time now, so I saw, I think I saw one the other day. And then, like, I'll see them inside buildings sometimes. Like, I'll see, like, flies or whatever. But during the summertime, though, it was just a whole lot of bugs that were gang stalking me. And they'll just fly right up in my face. And then I saw that cat the other night. I caught that on camera. I think he just turned around all of a sudden when I walked by him. So he was probably gang stalking me. He's just crossing the street and then he turns around and goes the other way when I walk by him. So it's just kind of interesting that like every animal that I see is gang stalking me pretty much. I can never see a cat, a dog, a squirrel, a bird, someone with a leopard print shirt or a camo shirt or camo hat or a FedEx or a mail truck or a garbage truck or a cop car or etc. I can't see any of these things. You know, maybe a red shirt or something, but like all those other things that I just mentioned, I can't see any of those that aren't a gang stalker ever. They're always a gang stalker, like every time. I just can't see someone just in a leopard print shirt that's not gang stalking me. They're all gang stalking. I don't know, maybe some birds, maybe I'm exaggerating about the birds, but like a lot of the birds though are gang stalking. Whole flocks of them. Just is the facts. I don't know. I can't explain it. I don't know how it works. It just is the facts. Bees, ants. I don't know if I've ever seen ants. Wouldn't surprise me though. But I have seen bees, I have seen butterflies, I have seen moths, I've seen flies, I've seen grasshoppers, I've seen just like all different types of flying bugs. And then just bugs that look like they're not even a real bug, like they just made it in a DARPA lab. Like it's an alien bug or something. Or maybe just some rare species of bug or whatever, but it's a gang stalker bug. Seen all different types of bugs. It's usually butterflies or flies or moths. Like it's usually like I'll walk up to an intersection and a butterfly will be flying by. Or like one day this butterfly was like flying over this car of this gang stalker that pulled up and parked. I think it like flew over when he came up and parked, and then it flew over him when he left or something like that. And there's a whole lot of gang stalkers out my window as usual. A whole army of stormtrooper whiteys. And then, like I said on the video the other night, a mouse ran right in front of my feet, like literally right in front of me, like an inch away from my foot. So I swear that was probably a gang stalker mouse, just based on the fact of how close it was to me. Or just a really stupid mouse. He's scared of me, but he's gonna run right in front of my foot. What an idiot. What is this, a tan gang stalker again? Is there gonna be another tan gang stalker? I saw these two tan cars come in the parking lot this morning, and then there was another tan car driving by, and then there was another tan car. It's just such a coincidence every time I see multiple tan cars pulling up at the same time as each other. Every day. It's always such a coincidence every day, multiple times per day usually. He is sinking with a tan car, I think. Anyway, just another day. Just regular life, you know. It's just regular at this point. It's just regular life. I just gotta live with it for the rest of my life. There's two whiteys syncing up. And then there's another whitey syncing up with the whiteys. When are the people gonna come out in the hallway again? They're gonna do it again. Probably right when I turn the camera off, people are gonna be walking out in the hallway. They always do it right at a moment. I never hear people in the hallway that's not right at a moment either. I never hear that either. It's always right at a moment when I hear people in the hallway. Every time. I can't explain to you how insane this is, that it's every time. Every time I hear someone in the hallway, every time I hear a car alarm, every time I hear a car horn, every time I hear a siren, every time I hear a train horn, every time I hear a plane, every time, every single time I see a camel shirt or a camel hat or a leopard print or a FedEx, every single time, every time, every single time.